Welcome back, good fellas, and we're back with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
How are you today, Tony?
Wonderful. And yourself?
I'm great.
Awesome.
Another day.
Another day, another dollar.
Yes.
Hopefully many dollars.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I could use what did Donald Trump say? A small loan of $1 million?
There you go, yeah.
I could use one of those small loans.
Especially when you don't have to pay back. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll take that too.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to donate...
Please.
All
We
right.
are a worthy fund.
Yes, very. Yeah. Well, we keep you informed too, so.
And we beautify the world. One countertop at a time.
Yes. 2 questions for you today.
Okay.
Ready for them?
I'm ready.
All right. First question. What most commonly stains stone?
Good question. What most commonly stained stone, and the one that's the hardest to get out. Most stains you can get out if you do it, fairly quickly. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get a stain out. Oil is the toughest one. Even when you seal something, like we use a really, really good, expensive silicone-based sealer. But that's basically to give you time to clean up a spill. Oil, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the density of the oil. I don't know what it is. But oil, even if something is sealed really well, if you leave oil on the countertop long enough, it will eventually break through that sealer and you could stain it. Now again, most of the time you can make a poultice. There's different, you can buy them already pre-made. There's some especially for oil. It's basically you just take baking soda, bleach, you put it on, and you can draw that stain back out, because what you want to do is make something more porous than the stone itself to reabsorb that stain out. So most of the time it could be fixed, but again, the sooner you get to fixing it, the easier it is to come out. If it's been there for a while, then it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 applications for it to come out. And it's something that you don't put it on and take it right off. You put it on and it has to sit there about 48 hours, covered with plastic, to give it time to draw the stain out. If it dries too quickly, it won't draw it out. So oil is the one that, even I cook a lot. I've been lucky enough, I seal my granite, and I've never had to reseal any granite I've ever put in.
Oh, wow.
That's why when I hear people going, I want completely maintenance free, I don't want to seal it every 6 months, it's ridiculous. That was put as propaganda put out by quartz companies that want you to buy quartz and scare you out of buying natural stone. It's not the case. If you're sealing every 6 months, you're just wasting sealer. Mm-hmm. And I use a lot of olive oil. I cook a lot. I use a lot of olive oil, but I will never leave my olive. Some people have the decorative olive oil canisters or whatever, and you leave them on your countertops. I never leave any oil on my countertop. I use it, I put it back in the cabinet, and I'm done. That's the one thing that I avoid. I cut on mine. Stuff spills on it. I spill coffee or whatever on it. It never stains it. The olive oil is the one that I always try to avoid. The sealer, the impregnator, which goes into the stone, gives you a time to clean up a spill, but you shouldn't leave it on there for long periods of time. Mm-hmm. Even cookie dough has oil in it. If you would leave the cookie dough in it on the countertop overnight, you risk staining it. Again, fixable, but you want to avoid it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's an investment. You paid a few $1,000s at least for your countertop. It's an investment. Try to do things in a way that you're not going to ruin it.
Right.
That's it.
What about wine? I know a lot of people ask about that when they come in.
Well, for granite and stuff like that, no, because like I said, we seal it. And the wine, it basically wipes up. The only time I would worry about a wine if you did like a white marble or something like that, which is why the quartz products that look like marble are so popular now, because they look like marble, but they don't have the maintenance of marble. Perfect example is we did the Felino Estate Winery up in Kutztown, and they had this 26-foot long bar top. It's a wine tasting bar top. So they wanted a white marble called Calcutta Gold. Had we done that in marble, probably the first wine tasting sitting they had, spilling red wine on it probably would have ruined it.
Right.
So they went with a really good quality quartz, man-made quartz that looks like Calcutta gold. And it looks as good today as the day we put it in. That was like over 7 years ago. So, and that's why it's important to come to get people like us where we're not going to allow you to put in the wrong material. We're going to always try to guide you in the right direction because, you know, I'm not a big quartz guy. We sell a lot of quartz. I'm not a big quartz guy. I've always loved natural stone, but there's an application for every stone. And in that case, if the white marble look is what you want, but it's going to be heavily used, then a quartz product that looks like it is perfect.
Second question of the day.
Okay.
How do you accomplish a waterfall?
A waterfall edge?
Yes.
Okay. So waterfall edges have become extremely popular, especially on white quartz because, you know, they want all these big veins and that's what really makes it very dramatic. So when you do a waterfall edge, what you have to do is you have to miter the ends on a 45 degree. And then you miter the piece that goes to the floor, and it's usually about 30 inches. So you miter that at 45 degrees. So it's basically going to go like that. So you have 45 degrees there, 45 degrees on this one. And you miter two together. And you should, if it's done correctly, cut it in a way that it's coming out of the one slab where we cut it, and then this basically folds down. So that vein runs through the top, right down that waterfall. And that's the correct, I mean, it drives me crazy when I see on other people's sites or, you know, I'm in a lot of different groups or design groups, and I see where they do what they call waterfall edge, and they don't run the veining through the top down. That's not a good waterfall edge. Which is even worse, as I see people do what they call butt joint, where they run this perfectly flat, and then they just don't even miter it. They just stick another piece like that. So you see that seam right across the top. That is not a waterfall edge. That's just a butt joint, you know, with a top piece with a piece on the side. That's not correct. It should be a 45 degree miter on both pieces. They're glued together, and this way it runs. It should look like a waterfall. It should fall like it's running right off the table. And when done correctly, it will look like it was almost carved out of one block of stone. And that's the look you want to achieve. And, you know, it's not cheap to do it. It's a lot more extra material. And you have that, you know, the charge for the mitering. So they're not easy to do. I mean, we've mastered it. I mean, we have everything we need with special vacuums and stuff that, you know, suck it really close to get that seam as tight as possible. But, I mean, it's really one of the best things that we do. And I love doing them because I think they look so cool. But it's just, you know, if you shop around, just make sure you're getting what you're asking for. Make sure they're going to miter it. They're not going to give that butt joint. And make sure you emphasize that you want to make sure that vein runs all the way through and down your waterfall. That is a perfect waterfall edge.
Those are all the questions I have for you today.
Okay.
Thanks for answering our questions once again.
I was very excited today. You got me.
I can tell.
Really excited about the questions today.
They were pretty good questions.
They were.
And I really wanted to know, because waterfall edges, I think, are really beautiful. I see them all the time. We've done quite a few since I've been working here.
They've become very, very popular.
Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Ask Tony Tuesday. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later.
Wake up.
Are you there?
I'm there.
Okay.